Rated M for mature.
Hi guys, I'm Sean Vanneman.
I'm Harrison Pink.
And this is the second Playing Dead Q&A.
Stefan asks, as a fan of the AMC show, will the characters be voiced by the actors? An example of that being Rick voiced by Andrew Lincoln.
So the characters in the game are new characters based on the world of the comic book. So we licensed the comic book directly from Robert Kirkman. We actually don't have any ties to the show. So the characters won't be voiced by anybody in the show, but we have a whole new cast. If you're a big Telltale fan, you might hear a familiar voice in there. And Dave Fennoy is our lead. He plays Lee. You've heard him before, probably, if you'd like to watch video on the internet, and I assume you do, given this. He is the voice of Hulu, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So Harrison, I got a question for you. Well, actually, I don't have a question for you. Andreas does.
Oh, okay.
Andreas asks, will this game be available from Steam, like your previous games?
It will be available on Steam, like our previous games.
Good.
Surprise.
I love Steam.
I love Steam too. It's going to also be on Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, iOS, Mac, and PC.
The gamut.
So get them all.
Yep. Got to catch them all. Let's go to the phones.
Hello, my name is Chance from Worcester, Massachusetts. I would like to know if there will be an investigative standpoint to the game rather than just choices and decisions.
Yeah, you definitely explore a lot of spaces. We think I like that in games.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things in games. Didn't you run like a Myst fan site?
Yes, I'm a huge Myst fan. So exploring environments is a big thing for me.
Yeah, we really like that. It also feels like when the world is being turned upside down by zombies, you want to go to the places that are familiar to you, whether it's homes or storefronts or just the street outside, and explore and discover the changes.
Yeah, a lot of time there's no characters, I mean there are characters in the game, but in the spaces you're in, characters have already left, or you're coming in after people have already left, so the sort of environment tells you the story of those people, which is really important to us.
You want to do every other word? Like if you say F and then I'll say I?
I think that's going to take us a long time.
Okay, so maybe you just read this one.
Okay,
then.
I'll just ask you this question.
Okay.
If I do multiple playthroughs of the first episode, when in one playthrough I'm a sensitive humanitarian and in another I'm making selfish survival decisions, when it comes to the second episode, do I get to choose which of these playthroughs to contribute to episode 2, or do I have to use my most recent playthrough?
Because this game, unlike any game we've really done before, is choice-based, and you're going to be sort of writing your own sort of tailored story while you're doing it, and it's episodic, that poses a really interesting problem for us. How do we get your choices from episode to episode? So what you'll be doing, as the way we have it set up right now, is you'll be picking sort of your primary save and then bringing that forward to the next episode. It'll say, are you ready to continue? You'll say yes, and then those storylines will then be merged together permanently. So you'll carry that story all the way through the season. And if you want to run multiple saves and have multiple storylines, you're welcome to. Sub C asks, will there be any form of combat in this game?
Absolutely. Dealing with zombies is obviously part of the Walking Dead world. So you're definitely going to be fighting zombies, sort of bashing them in the face, chopping them up into bits, all sorts of cool stuff.
Chopping them up into bits.
Into every little bit.
Telltale Designer in episode 3, a little spoiler alert there for the zombie Dyson.
You actually use a Cuisinart
zombie slap chop.
But you will definitely have to fight zombies for sure.
Yes.
All right. Mario asks, what game is the one on the coffee table? It's not here.
It's not here right now, but I know
But what game
about.
was on the coffee table? Will you guys carry it like you did with the Back to the Future card game? Do you have the system specs for playing on a computer? I'm worried that my 2009 MacBook will have a very hard time playing it, or will it be available for iPad 2?
Mario, to answer your question, two-part question, the game was Z-Man Board Games, the Walking Dead board game. It's really great. You should totally pick it up. We're not going to carry it, at least we don't have any plans to, so maybe your question will spark some sort of guy in a tie to make something happen. But you can pick it up at www.walkingdeadboardgame.com. And as for system specs, I imagine it'll run pretty good on your 2009 MacBook Pro, but the system specs are, and then you can just put them here in text. Okay? You can
Nice.
just lay
Make sure
them
it doesn't
in
go over my
right there.
head.
This is where they are. Looks like there's like an Intel somewhere in there. Mac is going to be down here probably. It'll run real good.
Cool.
Buy it. And to answer your question about the iPad, yes, it'll be coming to iOS.
Hello, this is Christopher from New York, and my question is, will there be any boss zombies in the game, or maybe even, dare I say, an encounter with the governor?
Good question. The cool thing about The Walking Dead and the way we've decided to handle the game is, from a boss zombie standpoint, yeah, they're definitely like named people who are integral to the story and challenges to be overcome. When it comes to the governor, we definitely have some plans for a long-term. The word of villain isn't quite right, but there are antagonistic forces in the world, and I wouldn't hold out hope for the governor, but there will be
Antagonistic forces?
Antagonistic forces.
For sure.
And ambiguity. Hayden asks, which game would you compare the impact of player choices with? For example, in The Witcher, you have no good-evil bar, so the full impact of the choice isn't clear until later in the game. It's kind of hard to point towards a game that's really like the Walking Dead game, because you're playing as Lee Everett. You're not like making your own personal Lee. You're not, Mass Effect is a fantastic game, but you really make your own Shepard. Your Shepard is very different. Like, Harrison's Shepard is probably different than Dracula Shepard that I play as. She's awesome. It's less about that sort of character customization and more about really role-playing as this guy who's going through a very personal story. And all the dialogue choices that come up, all the sorts of decisions you can make are all reasonably in the realm of possibility for Lee Everett. And we think that's really interesting. So it's more of a role-playing game in the fact that you are playing a role. You are playing the role of Lee Everett, as opposed to building and customizing your own character. And I don't really know if I can point to another game that's quite like that, but it's something that we're really excited to have built, so hopefully you like it.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for questions today. Thanks so much for sending them in. If you guys have any more questions, you can always email us at playingdead@telltalegames.com.
Or you can call us with your questions at 707-701-DEAD. Bye!
Thanks, everyone!
This is the Walking Dead, Playing Dead, Telltale Games, Q&A, the second one.com. To the sequel, Part 2, The Reckoning.
Son of.